What's going on, guys? It's Elias. Welcome back to the channel. For today's video, yes, finally an S2000 video. It's been quite a long time. That's usually because I put away the S2000 when it is winter time. And it has been winter time, but now it's about to be summer, and unfortunately I actually broke the S2000. Let's take a look and see what's wrong. So as you guys probably know, I'm building my Type R, and usually in the summer, regardless if I have a Type R or not, I take my S2000 out, and this becomes my main driver. I love taking this thing out for a nice summer drive. It's my favorite car in the world. If I had to sell everything I owned, all the cars that I owned, trucks and everything, this would be the last one to go. I would keep this car as long as I can. And I've actually, I'll tell a story one day, but I'll give you the long story short here. I rescued this car from New Orleans. It was not a flood car, but it was lowered. It had a subwoofer, had a nasty plastic crappy hood. It had some aftermarket things that just were not good on it. I got everything back to OEM stock, and I'm keeping it that way. It has 135,000 miles. I absolutely love this thing. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, and if you haven't followed me on Instagram, make sure you do right now. You'll know that I recently got married, and this S2000 was part of my wedding. Yes, this was where we had our ceremony. This was parked right in the back, and people were taking pictures with it. The photographer took some pictures with it, and it was an awesome time. On the way back, after we celebrated, we spent the weekend, I was driving it back, and unfortunately there was some nasty noise right as I was getting home, right from back here. So we have to investigate to see what happened. All right, so the car's up in the air. There's two jack stands under it, just to be safe. Always do that, it's very important. So I suspect either my rear diff is broken or one of my axles has gone. And since we can't see it unless we're under it, let's go ahead and get under there. So I'm onto my little light here. I'll put a link in the description for this thing. It's awesome, very useful. Let's do an inspection of what's going on. What could be causing that noise? Now, like I said, I suspect either the drive shaft, this differential here, which I wouldn't be able to see if it's broken, something to do with the drive shaft here, or the axles. I don't know. So this left axle here seems to be in really good shape, actually. Nothing's wrong with it. It looks to be pretty good. Moving on to the other drive shaft. Again, pretty good shape. Nothing's wrong with it. I left the car in gear for safety purposes, but seems to be all right. I guess we're going to have to move down and take a closer look at those drive shaft mountings. Kind of tight in here, but as we can see, this is the next thing that usually goes wrong with these. These mountings can get worn out and this can start getting loose, but as we can see here, it looks to be in very good shape. Everything here looks good. This is where it mounts up to the differential. So far so good. So far I'm thinking more and more it's the differential. So here we are where the transmission mounts up to the drive shaft. Again, it seems to be normal, seems to be fine. Let's see. That seems to sound normal. I'm just rocking it back and forth. Yeah, seems to be fine. One thing I want to note is how clean this car is. There's like no rust on this thing. It's awesome. That's why I picked it up. Zero rust. But I think the differential's broken. So there we have it. It was my suspicion that it was the differential. I emailed Billman. He had me check and to see if there's some kind of a spider gear or something, if one of the axle boosts came off or anything else visually I can see that it could cause the noise I was hearing, because the noise I'm hearing is more of a clicky, clacky sound. Sounds pretty horrible, and it depends on the speed you're going, and if you're on throttle or off throttle, it'll sound even louder. So all of that kind of confirms that it's probably the differential. Sounds like I'm going to need a putty mod differential. Let me know what you guys think, if I'm wrong or if you guys think of any other issues that could be causing that clicking sound as I'm driving. It's a very loud sound, so loud in fact I'm afraid to even move the car again because it sounds awful. It sounds like something's going to completely grenade and break, and it really does sound like gears clanging against each other. It doesn't sound pleasant. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Peace. So after some thought and some research, it actually could be that my axle nut, the axle nut that we all know S2000s have loose from the factory, especially the older S2000s like mine, the original S2000s, I think it might be an axle nut problem. So I'm going to have to go in there and check again and see if that's it. It could be a very inexpensive fix if that's the case. If it is the axle nut, I just have to tighten it to about 300 foot-pounds and the clicking should go away. So hang on for another video. Let's see if that works.